Alright, we are going to do episode 23, and God damn it, Robert, why'd you tell me my hair looks like a frickin' bowl? Yeah, man, look at his hair, all spiffed up. I look like I could put cereal on top of it. What the frick? Thanks.
Good morning haircut.
Thanks, that's awesome. Don't worry, I'll edit this out.
Gotta look good for the one lady probably watches.
God. Alright, this is an episode guide, and this is actually episode 23, I'm pretty sure. And what's going to happen is, I actually won't skip this. I actually skipped it by accident, so this should fall somewhere between single stick and then LOP saw, and then we go to double stick. So this is actually a guide on LOP saw. First of all, let's spend some time talking about LOP saw. This drill is very, very important to do and to do correctly. Why? Because the number one thing is, if it's done wrong, it's just painful. It really is. When I first learned, it was called bong LOP, and this is not to knock how I learned it before. It's just, you know, what he was capable of teaching me. This is what I learned. We did LOP saw where it was like kind of like a back fist thing. And he would lop again, and then he would just basically crank the hell out of it and just beat each other. Obviously at the time the concept is, well, you gotta condition the forearms like you're conditioning a shin, like Muay Thai and stuff like that. And you know, fortunately, my personality is that of laziness, and two, and I'm very delicate to pain. So after a while I realized this can't be right. So what I really want to do is we're going to work on LOP saw. I'm going to talk, this is probably going to be as most detailed as I can because I really want to have people avoid doing it the wrong way. And first of all, let's look exactly where's the LOP saw motion. Where is it within the form? And how do we look at the form and how do we fully understand it so we can apply it, yada, yada, yada. In the form section, first form, second section, after you do the Lanza motion, you look at the LOP, this is LOP saw motion right here. LOP saw motion, two hands, circular whip motion here, and that's a very key thing to pay attention to. I'll do it sideways too. Two hands, circular motion, circular motion. The reason I'm putting that emphasis is because there's two things happening here. One, the control hand motion that's clearing the line, and two, the attack hand motion that's making a circular motion. A lot of the misinterpretations, and yeah, it's misinterpretations because if you look at the form is not incorrect. It's your reference point of exactly how to do the motion correctly. And that's why people who bypass the form miss the bigger picture, okay? See, Robert, you bypass this form, you will miss all the heavenly glory. God, I suck ass. All right. Okay, so with that in mind, look, it's a circular motion. The way I basically explain this and translate this motion is, it's not, you go from here, from the LOP saw motion, and then change it to a straight punch. And a lot of people do that. They go from here and straight punch, here, straight punch. If you do that, you kill the motion and the momentum of the technique. Okay? Once you don't understand the motion, you're basically doing it wrong, and you're killing the actual fluid motion and the flow of the technique. So, with that in mind, and I talked about a lot of it already. First, when we do the LOP saw drill, okay, obviously the bong saw has to be correct, okay? Now, notice I'm not here square at him. I'm actually turned. I'm actually shifted at this point. You may or may not have my feet in view, but you know what a shift is. If not, go back to the guide, okay? First things first, let's talk about the overall thing that I want to do. When he lops my hand, okay, what a lot of people, and this is how I first learned it, before I really understood it, as soon as they touch it, okay, let's go back to that. As soon as he touches it, boom, I switch to a bong saw, okay, don't even do the whip. He touches, automatically I swoop to a bong saw. One more time, swoop to a bong saw. Just think, Wing Chun is based on the amount of force that you're doing and the right amount to apply with it, okay? If he simply touches me here, just basically touches me, and all of a sudden, he barely touching me, like 1 pound of power. All of a sudden, I flip my elbow up like this, my bong saw up like this. How is that based on the force? You can't do that. And I'm going to talk about the importance of that, why not to do it that way, because I don't want you to hurt yourself from that. look, as soon as he touches, I flip. When you develop that, it looks like Wing Chun, but it's not. The problem with that is you're becoming like a trained dog. You're like Pavlov. As soon as you feel something, oh, I memorized to go bounce out, regardless of how much force it is. Whether it's a hard lop or it's a soft lop, you just go up like that. You're not being trained to be like a dog. Oh, maybe if you go on all fours, I'll take you inside the park. All right. I'm sorry, I just watched a lot of Bruce Lee this week because they're just like churning out right here. Okay? But that's a problem. As soon as if he touches like this, and then all of a sudden there's nothing there, I have the bounce out. Two principles you're breaking right there. One, you got to base things based off the force. Just because it touches, that's like, let's say he's here. He moves his hand a little, let's say to punch, just a little, and I'm like this. You don't have the equal ratio of his force and your counter to that. By him just simply, from here, simply touching, and then me swinging up to bounce out, breaking the basic, simple rule principle. What are you doing at that point? It's not based off the actual force. It's you memorizing a technique, okay? The second problem, when I was actually taught that way too, is as soon as he does this, and then I shoot the bounce out, now he lops, and he actually shoots out the punch here motion, right? How do you block in Wing Chun? Blocking in Wing Chun is what? I touch and I drill. Touch and I drill, okay? So what happens here? If you look at that basic idea, he touches my hand, and all of a sudden I have bounce out. All right, I already formed the technique, and then now he's doing it. That's like if I have a drill, right? Here's the wall. Robert's the wall. What do? I have the drill gun, and I go zzz, and then all of a sudden I touch a wall. It doesn't work. What do I have to do? I have to touch him first, then go shh, then drill. So I don't want to apply the technique first, because what am I blocking? I'm not blocking the lop. Okay, if you lost my hand, I stopped your lop. The lop is not the attack. The lop is not the attack. If you look at it, when he touches my hand, notice I haven't done anything. I'm slowly, reforming a triangle. As soon as he touches, when he touches, drill. That's when I'm actually drilling and applying the bounce out. Anything prior to that, and you've already applied the technique beforehand. Okay? Make sense? All right, why am I telling you this? One, because if you apply the bounce out and right away before that, and he gives you the whip of the punch, you're gonna eat it in your shoulder. No matter how you apply it, anyway, you're gonna eat it in his shoulder. And then this is the most common thing I get from other people who come out and ask me questions. Oh man, I had a good lop saw session. Oh, my shoulders are burning. I was like, oh great, that's great. Remember, if it hurts, if it's exhausting, you're doing Wing Chun wrong. Okay? All right? That's just a simple fact. The silly concept of no pain, no gain. Seriously, just think about it. You hurt yourself training. What happens? You're sidelined for 2-3 months. You're not training anymore. Okay? Like I've always told you guys over and over again. You do things right. Don't rush it, and don't hurt yourself. This is the number one most important thing. Okay, so going back into that process again. If we look over this, as soon as he touches this motion, when he touches, he goes in, here. Look, I'm going with the force. Notice I'm still covering my center from this point, and then from this point, as soon as he touches, boom, then I form the bounce out and then drill that motion off. Okay, that is the number one thing I really want you to focus on. A lot of common problems besides going too fast with it and then shooting it out is also knowing the range as far as collapsing it in. So in other words, if he's here, don't go like this also. He's here, I collapse my arm in, and then he's shooting, and I shoot my bounce out. Again, you do that, oh man, what a good freaking workout. Frick, my shoulders are burning. Again, look at my triangle. It doesn't collapse, it just simply goes with the force. Even though he touches it this way, and he's lopping forward, okay? And we'll go in detail on that. I'm not bringing my hand back. When he goes forward, look what I'm doing. I'm maintaining my triangle here. Maintain my triangle here, and then boom, I switch to the bounce out. At no point do you ever see me collapse the triangle. Anytime you collapse the triangle, you have to push it back out. You're going to be using muscle at that point. All right, so I covered hopefully that main point. What else do we have to cover? Okay, lop saw motion. Let me be the lopper. Lop saw again. Okay, when I lop, So the point I want to make the lop saw. How exactly do we do proper lop saw? First of all, like I said, the lop saw motion is a circular motion. It is not this motion. When I touch, okay, I don't go here and then straighten out the motion. When I do lop saw motion, this hand in the wusa, okay, let's look at this. Here's the center, right? Here's the center. The wusa hand is actually off to the side a little, right? And why do we have the wusa hand? And you'll notice this if you play around with this. This hand is very important as far as where its relationship is to your center. If you put this exactly in the center, in theory, this looks like, okay, I'm forming a triangle, but it's actually not enhancing or helping the bangsa overall. To prove my point, let's say Robert's here. He's in bangsa, okay? What's the best way to see this? Let's go this way and let's step up this side. Yeah, square up. Just face square. Okay. Robert square. Okay. I was like, where'd I go? I was like, oh, I'm not on that side. All right. So Robert's in the center line. He has his bangsa in place. Okay, his bangsa in place. His wusa is exactly in the center. If I push towards his bong right here, okay, how does that feel?
Feels like I'm trying to muscle against it.
You can feel muscle. If you're honest and you know exactly what to feel for it, you'll be muscle. Now, like, let's say he moves it back. Okay, it's still in the center. Looks like a triangle, right? And if I push against it, you feel muscle?
Yeah.
You feel his muscle again. Okay, now let's move it off a little to the side. This is a little excessive as far as where I put it. Now I'm going to push him again. How's that feel?
It still feels muscle.
Okay, now you find your point where you feel like you're using two hands at that, even though it's not touching. How about here?
Less muscle.
Less muscle, right? Now look at it. Look at the relationship to it. It's not exactly in the center. It's slightly off. He feels the force of the energy of the triangle functioning into that one point. And that's what you have to play with. You have to know exactly how this hand actually enhances this hand. Okay? If it doesn't, this is basically, even though this hand is here, this is not helping it. Alright, so that's very key. And it's also important because if the bangsa hand fails and collapses, guess what? The wusa hand's already there to go. Okay? Alright, so what was I talking about? Alright, going back to this. Alright, let me see how long this is. Where the hell am I looking at? Okay. High budget. Alright, so heel lapsas again, boom, and then lap, okay? So, the lapsa motion, okay, for example, so now that we understand exactly where to put the wusa, as far as to enhance the bangsa of the block, the process of lopping, as far as clearing the line and actually applying the whip motion, okay? Now, when I touch, alright, as soon as I touch, I don't want to touch and then hit, alright? I don't want to touch and then hit. By the time I touch, I should whip. The whip motion should come out. Touch and whip at the same time. Don't go like this. Touch and then whip in circular motion, okay? I actually want to go, by the time I touch, whip at the same time, and then he comes out with the bangsa, okay? Lapsa again, boom. I touch, whip, and then he comes with the bangsa again, okay? Touch, whip, and then you turn to the bang. Now, the key thing to remember is you got to do the replacement there, okay? This hand's here, this hand's here. As soon as I touch, don't grab and then take your time with this. It's got to be instantaneous, a 1-2 motion. It looks like just exactly like in the form. When I do the form, I do what? 2 motion, hand, 1 clear, 1 hit, like this. See that? 2 hands. You don't see me go like this, right? It's 2 hands. I reference the form. We're in the form. We're in the form. We're in the form. Oh, there. Lapsa motion is correct. Gotta do that. You have the glasses. But within the form, if you look at the form, it tells you exactly how to do it and the motion for it. So when he lapsas again, lap, boom. When I lapsa, look, same. When I do it here, as soon as I touch, look just like in the form, I whip at the same time. Okay, now let's not block. Just to give you an idea of how the motion actually hits. When I actually hit this motion, look, I want you to see, you understand. I don't punch it straight. I'm not punching in straight like this. Hi-ya! I'm not punching in straight. Because look at the motion. It breaks the motion down from one to another. I don't go here and then shoot it out. Whatever mechanic way you want to look at it. If I look at the basis of how the form is done, when I touch this, alright, he's not blocking, watch. Whip. Look at the whip. Look at the circular motion that I'm coming to. Boom. Down. So in other words, it's coming here, down, boom, at this angle like this. Okay? I'm exaggerating so you can see the full circular motion. boom, circle, not boom, straight. I'm here, circular, boom. And if you look at it, it's penetrating him not straight here, it's coming at an angle this way to hit him down, all right? This way, boom, hit him down if he doesn't block it with the bomb. All right, so make sure you fully understand that. What else? Okay, lops on motion. He lops us again. When you lop, close hand like this. Don't lop like this, open hand, okay? Why? Two things. One, you never want to commit your technique. And two, if you have your thumb out like this and you grab, you're gonna get it broken easily, okay? So notice when I lops out here, like this motion, and he bonks out here, my thumb is here at this point, if you can see that. It's not here underneath, it's here. And also, the placement of my lops out motion. If you look at my palm, it's coming down like this. If he's like this, I'm open at this point. Notice I'm here, my elbow's sunk, my bone is supported here, and from there it's actually connected. See that? That's an actual placement. Both sunk like this. Okay, exaggerating that a bit, but just think of it sunk. Not have one hand up here. All right. And then from here, he lops out again. Boom, and I block. Nice again. See, same time. Boom, whip. It's hard to do. To practice this, go ahead. You can practice this slow, like slow whip, like that, to get the motion down. But eventually, go ahead, lops again. When I lop, boom, whip. Okay, and this takes a while to develop and to do correctly. Go ahead, lops again, whip, a little late, whip, whip. See, now he's got to catch, then turn. And I tell you, even I tell you how to do this. This takes a lot of work. It really does. It's a difficult drill to get and to fully understand this drill. Because it's the timing of it and the mechanics of it, there's a lot involved. He lifts, boom, 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 touch, drill. See, I drill into that, touch, drill. Yeah, drill, right there. Good? Touch, drill. Okay. All right, one more thing. I know this is a lot of stuff, but what else you got to do today? All right. The inside whip motion, why is it inside whip with a fist and not back fist? Okay, I'm sure, one, I'm answering this now because I'm too lazy to answer the emails that I get from that. So as always, I'm very efficient. So, if we're in this position, how come I don't go this back fist? Why don't I go, wah! This back fist like this, right? You know, back fist here. As opposed to, instead I go inside whip and use the fist. The reason I don't do back fist is, structurally, the back fist, while you can apply it, is not that strong. Okay? Now, what do you mean? It took O'Hara down, right? Frickin' back fist, boom, back fist. Well, look at the structure of the overall hand. If you look at the structure of the hand this way, the bones in itself have a separation from each one, right? You look at the separation here. So it's basically separated from one another when you hit it. So it doesn't have the same function as far as when you apply it. If you look at the hand as an overall sword, right? If you look at the sword, how powerful is a sword? When you do the sword stabbing or cutting motion, that's very powerful and scary for the sword. And you look at your arm in the same fashion. But if I take the sword, right? Look here. Oh, what is this about? This is about, oh my God, how much dust is on here? Yeah, oh God. You look at the sword, right? If I look at this sword, but as far as poking, slicing, all this motion here with the sword, but those are the strength of the sword. If I turn the sword sideways like this, and I try to hit it at this manner and this point, that's when it's weakest, okay? So, in that manner and in that fashion, if I look at that, get rid of the cobwebs. Look at it the same way. This is the sword here. I'm chopping it this way, right? I'm chopping it this way, or if I hit, my knuckles hit this way. But now all of a sudden, if I whip and all of a sudden I go here, back fist this way, what am I using? Right, you're not using the edge of the sword, but you're using what? The side of the sword, which is weak, or the full frame of the sword, which is weak, and that's why I never do it that way. Can you get away with it? You can, but I'll be talking more about what you can get away with in Wing Chun and what you can't. All right. Hopefully this helps. Seems like I covered a lot of stuff, but there really is more stuff, and shoot, I talked a lot. Okay, enjoy.